So typical of me to talk about myself. I'm so natural.
Decide on how to place their trades or how to manage their trades. So the most volatile of these is supposed to be the sterling dollar. Like we had yesterday, we had reverse bias since yesterday. We go over that very quickly and we move on to the market action, the downward market action. So bias yesterday, okay, in light of the fact that the current in a bear trend, we should see strong in this bearish higher rejection at that level, which is 1360. Well, that did not happen, and this so far has resulted in a very mild retraction that we're seeing currently in the market, and therefore, upon further deliberation and weight segregation, we came to the conclusion that we should be changing bias to. All right, so we would expect now that actually, momentum-wise, the market will be supporting on top of this cycle translation axis or cycle translation neckline. This is evident from the fact that momentum rejected here twice at that cycle translation axis or neckline and is currently supporting upon a break, momentum outbreak above that cycle translation axis. All right, and so far all of the negative, the maximum negative momentum that was experienced on this market could not break below this cycle translation axis. Therefore, we consider that we now have a double inverted head, all right, and right shoulders. These could still be left and these could be right shoulders in the making. We expect not to fall below that wave here, wave 1 inside this higher degree trending wave 5. Alright, so this is our growth wave now. That one here from 1 to all the way up to 5. Alright, you will note that we bounced that wave 4 here, that was this is wave 4, bounced at the top wave 1. Okay, so wave 4 here bounced at the top of the internal wave I, internal wave 1. Alright, okay. So this leads to believe that we're going to have continuation, all right, of this growth wave higher, all the way probably up to 134.70 this month. Let's see how we're going to treat that trade wise or trade management wise. All right, so yesterday we were contemplating to enter market to buy into that growth wave. Let's see that growth wave here. Okay, and that entry is 2670. Sorry, 2970 or 2980. This is 50% of that growth wave here. All right, and our primary or intraday targets will be 3080 or 3090 and 3150. Okay, these were these there. Of course, our stop is right below the bottom of wave 2. 2890 or 29, and these are the levels that are shown here. We're entering 2925. We could see 2975, or we assume that we could see 2975. Our stop is 2890, all right, and our target is 3150. Okay, so let's take a look at the market action. Right, this is the current minute chart. Okay, so we have completed, of course, the 25 and we have completed an A here and a B, and we're coming to C. Trending growth wave, bearish growth wave, and we expect that to take us to this level C, 161.8%, where we could buy 1.2995 and 1.2980. Okay, so we could amend now, or we could filter or pinpoint our entries to take limit longs at 1.2995 and 1.2980. All right, both just above or wave one here. All right, of course, our stop will be right above wave two. All right, as previously detailed. Okay, and our targets are remain the same. For intraday traders, that would be 3080 and 3090, 1.3080 and 1.3090. And for swing traders, we can way up to 1.3150. Okay, so to recap on sterling pound, okay, this wave's projection, the current this is the current growth wave. Of course, it will give us values at around 1.2985 or 1.2990 and 1.2980 or 1.2985. Okay, our stops are below wave 2, which is 1.29, 1.2890, and our targets are as outlined here. Intraday targets 15 or 130.80. Okay, if you're taking this as a swing trade, you hold it all the way. This is an intra-week target, all the way up to 131.60. Okay, all right. Good. Okay, the trade, of course, has potential if you're going to trade this as an investment CFD. Keep in mind that we are currently adding at this neckline here. Okay, the last time we had a similar signal to the current one on momentum was also at the same neckline, and that took price all the way from the current level of 1.2990 and 1.30 all the way up to 135 or even 137 initially. At that time it took price all the way up, and then there was a correction. Okay, so we could expect this time to go all the way up to 135, 136, 137, that dotted line here, before we see a correction of sorts. Could be mild, it could be strong. So if we intend to hold that position, if you're taking this as an investment grade, if you treat it as an investment grade CFD, then you would hold your entries at 1.2985 and 1.20 all the way up to 1.3470. This is the current breakout level for the current month. All right. The market actually, the lowest that the market recorded was 1.2680. All right. Okay. So if you were to trade it as an investment CFD, again, you would hold your entries at 1.2990. Right, at even 1.2995 all the way up to 1.3470, and that is that level shown here, 1.3472. This is the breakout high for the current month of October. Right, we can move on to the next issue. This is sterling yen, pound yen. Right. Okay, we can see that our correction here now. This is the we'll just take a last look at or final look at sterling pound. We are waiting for this correction to fill us at 1.2995 at 161.8. This 161.8 equals 1.2973, but we will allow for spreads, so we should be filling 1.2980 and 85, and of course 1.2992 would be fine. Our stop as related before is 1.2890, right below 0.2. We could even take that to 1.23. Okay, so we move on to the next issue before we could take some questions first before we move on to sterling yen. Alright, so there's a question regarding gold, if it's going up or down. We could trade gold both ways. Today we could sell into it. We cannot buy at the moment until we see the levels that we wish. We could even buy. We will do gold. We could move on to gold and then get back to the sterling yen. Alright. How is copper and nickel? We're still working on these and expect that to trade on hopefully before the end of this week, I think. Okay, there's another question regarding gold. So let us move first to gold and then we could return to sterling yen. Alright, great. Good. So let's review the analysis first. Okay, we remember that this market is bullish, okay, and we are having a signal, what we call a wave 1 signal, alright, from this level, from this high level. The wave 1 would usually, that is the wave 1 signal here, it would usually take you up to some level like the wave 3 and correct nearly 80% of the move that was made, or of the bull move that was made. So we would anticipate this current wave to take us all the way to the market top on the right fundamentals, of course, to test at 2074 before retracting again to retest it a second time. Okay, so what we as traders would not concern ourselves with 2074 or not. Our primary objective now is that if we are long, we can hold until after the US elections and we could see 2070 and 2080 if the dollar weakens. Alright, on the daily chart we have a strong trigger signal here. This is called the zero line rejection, whereas it shows that all negative momentum has completely died out and dwindled right above the zero, going higher upwards. Okay, so once we break above, or we could start taking mild profits at this neckline. Alright, we are going to support presumably on it and move higher to test 2070 or 2080, and in that case that would be 4B, like this was 3 and that was 4B, and then we're doing 4B. We could still expect another correction, alright, in 4C to test. Alright, so let's move to trade management. We are keen to enter longs. This is the current full motive weight that we're buying in. It's already a 5-wave Elliott advance structure. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we have an ABC. Alright, there is supposed to be some kind of an ascending triangle here, and that is our buy levels that we could begin to buy 1880, 1890, 1900. Alright, our initial target is of course a test of the neckline at 1955 or 60. We expect of course to break above the neckline and then fall to support on it. Alright, because that would here we're seeing the inverted head and shoulder. So our first target would be 1955 and 1965. That target here, and then we can reload again at 1930 on a retraction to test the neckline. So let's look at the market. The market is currently doing 1900. All right, this is the current correction, segregated. Okay, so this correction can correct all the way down to the top of 1 here. All right, we plan to start buying at 1900. The market is currently doing at 1901, so we can begin taking limit entries long, because of course test, we could test the level, okay, and then go in full size once we see positive momentum on the 15 minutes. This is the 15-minute chart. Okay, all right. Now the projections for this current correction here. We are doing of course select C, like this is a A, B, and that's a C, D, and that is B. This is the final leg supposedly in this correction that we are seeing, and it takes us at 261.2% at 1985. We will be fine if we buy 1890, 1895, and 1900. I think we're good to go for our initial planned levels, okay, that are shown here: 1900, 1890, and 1895. Projection shows that we'll be seeing these now, okay, and we can start filling them. All right, if you feel that you have done your due diligence and you're comfortable with the position. All right, this is of course a wave 5, a complete Elliott structure, and we can correct all the levels. Don't chase the market. Just wait at the levels. You will try to fill the levels. The market will come to you. There is no haste, even if the market starts to move higher before going down to 1900 and 1895. We will get positive momentum on the 15 minutes, and we will know that the market has finished the correction and that we can buy into that. All right, we will then see some kind of a motive bullish wave, small one, that you can buy 50% into, and it will be accompanied by positive momentum. So until this confirms on the market, I would rather we stay at the levels, at the projected levels, all right, which are of course 1900, 1895, and you can see all the way down to 1885. Top of one is 1881, 886. Okay, so we will fill these levels. Like I said, for intraday traders, we're going all the way. Our first initial target is 1955, 1965. These are these levels shown here. This is 1964. All right. If you wish to hold this position on the presumption that there will be a stimulus package, a post-corona stimulus package issued by the Senate probably this week or early next week maximum. All right, and of course 1964 is the highs of this consolidation cycle. Okay, our stop is 1860. You could wish if you were going to take this to an investment level, of course, but I would rather not do that. I would rather clear profits at 1964 and then reload again at 1930. All right, and you're on your way to these levels shown here. The next level would be, of course, 1084. This is this current week's breakout level. All right, and then you're on our way to 1992 and 2015. We'll treat them. I don't believe we should be holding positions now until we're closer to the US election. If we are able to buy at the neckline and it is confirmed, right? So companies are buying gold. Probably to diversify. Once we load at the neckline, we could then hold on during the American election, US presidential elections, probably all the way to 2000 and above. Okay, so there will be no bearish, there will be no trade now to take. I was contemplating that we could do a bearish trade if our session had started earlier. We could be selling initially, of course that was an AD. I wouldn't do that now. Into grade A, well that is too late now. We could sell this intraday, we're still going to see, but I would not advise. I would advise against that. Alright, so it's best to be oriented now on the long side regarding gold. Of course, theoretically, you could be selling, you all understand, you could be selling this motive wave, that's a motive wave, and you could sell 1915 for a retest of $1,900 worth, and your stop will just be 1926 also. Okay, but I believe the profits would be really minimal, but for intraday traders it could be feasible. It's available if they wish to take such trade. Okay, so we can get back now to sterling yen. Alright, so you remember that we changed bias on that. Okay, so we're now bullish that issue since yesterday, of course, and we expect that we are moving inside an upwards trending channel, okay, and that the current correction bounced again at the top of a wave 1. Alright, that was the end of the correction in C. Okay, and this means that this growth wave is still valid and that it's going to take us higher into the next leg up. Alright, so we could see it all the way up. We could see that we think that we could get all the way up to 143, even 144. The targets are shown here. So we will be buying inside that growth. That this is a confirmed inverted head and shoulder pattern at the lower boundary of the uptrending channel, and that we'll be buying the neckline of this confirmed HNS pattern, head and shoulders pattern. Momentum is very positive on both hourly and 4-hourly charts. All right. So our entries yesterday were into that 670, 136.90, all the way up to 137.10, and you could see 136.45 and 50. We checked these levels yesterday. Okay, and this is the current market picture. So the correction now has signaled a motive pair. Just before the analysis there was no motive pair, but now we have a motive pair, and the fifth projections of this to these levels. We should see 1,000. We should see 136. We're currently approaching 137, 137.10, which we should fill that. We should see 136.80 and 136.55, and I think that's about it. That takes us to the top of one here. I don't think we'll be going lower than that. Okay, there is also possibility that this is going to be a double correction, and if that is the case, correction, and if that is the case, then if this is a 3, we're still going to see a 5 that will take us. Of course, these are not accurate projections, pairs right through, and it gives us entries at 136.80 and 136.55, like said earlier. If we want even to narrow down our projections, we move down to the
No, moving further.
Tenha de hoje. Quanto é assim?
Reality, we should test 145. This is why you could take this all the way up to 154 and 152 plus. Okay. And the breakout level for this week is 138.97, which is our current intraday target at 139. Okay, so to recap for sterling yen, we could start loading now, enter the market long. Now, enter the market long. Okay, and the target is 130. And the target of support is 1. And the target of support is 139. Right, we can move on to the next issue. We could take a few questions first. There's a question regarding euro dollar. What time will it go up? Well, we do not expect the euro dollar to go up before the end of this month. Personally, we believe it will be going down. If euro is going up against the dollar, it should be doing so now, because the dollar is staying weak now, currently this week. All right, and it's expected, the market is that it's going to be, the market is discounting, of course. It's going to, answers. I hope that the screen does not freeze at your end. If you have problems with the connection, please let me know. Okay, this is for the moderator. All right, so back to the question: the sterling against the United States dollar. What time will it go up? It is possible that the sterling will rise or begin to appreciate against the dollar before the end of this week. After the current, there's going to be an EU summit on Thursday, and you could expect that we're going to see there's going to be some positive news regarding Brexit, and you will find that sterling should, this is the general assumption, sterling then should be appreciating against the currently, of course, the market is moving. And we expect that this is now a growth wave here that you're seeing here, and instead of selling, we were going to sell 1.1840. I believe we filled 1.1820. You could consider to start selling 1790 and 1780, 1. Going at least 1650, right? Leave that. Okay, so you could add or amend to your sell orders. Your stop will be 1820, all right, and we can fill this wave at 1780 and 1775 and 1770 and 1760. The stop, of course, is going to be 1820, right above here. Okay, that's 1820, right above the whole head and shoulder structure. Okay, and we are going ultimately to 15 if you're investing into it, to 1525. Of course, for day traders, you can go 60 points down, 1730, down to 1680. 1680 right about here. If you're feeling 1780, all right, or 1770, you can take profits at 1.17 for 70 80 points for intraday traders, or 1680 for 100 point. Okay, 100 point profit target. We'll be doing euro dollar very soon in detail. Okay, I just thought that we could. We will not be taking any bearish trades on gold today. All right, we will be only accumulating longs. All right, so this bearish setup we can now forget about it for the time being. Okay, because already you would have filled at 1930 and 34 and 27, and now the current market is doing, I believe, 1905, 1905 whereabouts, and we should be implementing this bias here by longing 1900, 1895, and 1885. Our stop is of course 1860. We're going for a target of 1965. We already did that in detail, so we might move on because we still have our something. We go on to silver. All right, so this is the current market action, and yesterday we were planning to long 24 and below. All right, you could see, of course, 2350. Let's see what the current market is doing. All right, so let's see. Okay, so that's the wave structure that we see here, and this is the live market action at the moment. That has completed into one, and like we were saying yesterday, we expect to see a correction EBC that is bullishly translated, moving higher. There's a neckline somewhere here, of course. We would buy 24. All right, we're about to see that, and 23.50. That's just about the top of one. Even GoPro stops right below the entire structure at 20. Okay, and we're going, of course, initially to test that neckline at 27 and a half, and then of course 28. Okay, we can see this week we'll probably see 29. You can see the levels here, so we're filling 24 and 23.50. The stop here is placed at 23, very tight. All right, that is the stop right below weights on the belief that there is an ascending triangle. Okay, and that we should not fall below the ascending triangle, but of course we could spike 23, so I wouldn't do that. I would, at this kind of on the market, I would go down right below the top of one and right below this bottom here, right, which takes us at least to 23.50, right, instead of 23, or preferably even 22, right below the top here. Okay, so okay, our target of course is 28. Once we break above that neckline, this is the next neckline that we'll be seeing at 27 and a half. We should take it to break above it and then pull back to support on it, and that gives us 28 and complete 50. Okay, and that's the extreme breakout level for the month of October. Alright, also for silver, you can go into buys now at 24 and 24.30. Your stop is 22, and your target is going to be 23.50. Okay, let's take a few questions before we move on. Oh, the code is correcting. Okay, we can do that again just in case people, someone hasn't yet seen it. Right, so this is the market action. We are
मुझे बैठे बस साहब मुझे इधर स्टॉल जाना है मैं जो को मामिया को ले मंडा कर रहा हूं तो हमारी जिंदगी भरी अन्य ट्रेन के बीच मन्ने मन्ने तो चलो सही हर बच्चे निकलने हो गए जरा सोचा नहीं बीबे का नंबर बीबे जिसकी नहीं होना बंदा ओ और ये अंधेरी की नहीं है वजह दुनिया वाले अस्पताल जाओ सीधा अस्पताल में क्या है बेटा वो मालवाड़ तो मैं वो इलाज करवाना है मैं वो बना के तो आना वर्ल्ड में ऐसे पीछे कर रहा है वाजिब रखा तो ठीक है जी उसकी दस रहे हैं उस साल मैं हमारा ग्राम नहीं है तरीके से और का छोड़ कर दूँ कार्ड कितना बड़े कार्ड हमारा वो 25 की पूरी यार में जो इशू हो जाए ना तो यार 3 महीने है जिस मर्जी लगा रखो है कि दे कार्ड है बात तो उठे हां कितना पता कि चेक की कोई करना जरा चेक को नहीं करना जरा नहीं चिंता मैंने इस तरह की कितनी है कितनी है मुझे मान गया उन्होंने हमारी बात सुनी क्या ये इमरजेंसी है ना इन्हें काम चेक की कोई करना ये पहले कोरोना वाला दी गाल सुनो सीता को है ना पे डॉक्टर ने की तो उसको जाना उसकी रखना है वो भी तो है स्पेशलिस्ट को तो जरा ये तीन भी तो होती है क्योंकि इमरजेंसी तो होगी ना कुछ भी चलो चल मैं समझ नहीं पता कर रहा हूं हां ही ना प्यार कार्ड बदल में ना हां हां चल दुआ भी मैं खबर करती हूं जाऊं क्या करूं तो कम करती है ये वो कोई चीज नहीं है सकते हम बन जाते हैं बना लो ऐसी माकूल
We were expecting a correction with 4, that was a 3, and with 4 should have taken us to test the bottom lower. Alright, so what this pattern tells you is something not very pleasant. Seriously speaking, if you want to join now into this market, you'll actually have to sell into that wave here. This is your current growth wave, it's a breakout. And it's like this is a 1, 2, and this is a 3, sell it with a very tight stop. So you could, if you wish to join the market, you could consider okay, so you could consider to sell 124.30, 124.25, and 124.20. Alright, we're going to 123. This is going to retreat. We could sell 124.30, okay, 124.25 and 124.20. This is euro yen. Your stock will have right above the bottom of one here at 124.70. Okay. Of course, if you're already short at 125.10 and 124.70, you hold your positions to 123. If you wish to join now the market, this is what we would contemplate to do. Okay, so this has failed here. Alright, it is possible of course that we're gonna get wave 5 and then we're going to test all the way up again. However, it doesn't look like it. If we want to get into the market, we would have to sell into that growth wave. So it is not guaranteed that this is not going to extend further. There's evidently an outbreak or breakdown, and we could not go above the 200-point moving average on the 15-minute chart. So this is a very weak. Okay, so gives us values at 1.2430, 1.2425, 1.2420. Okay, our stop is 1.2470. Okay, or right about here, right above the point this way here, and we're going for 123. Our target is 1. Okay. Issue, that's a very interesting issue now. I will save time by not going through all the in detail all the long-term charts. Okay, we move on to our next issue. We have an update on the on the United States dollar against the Japanese yen. We'll take a few questions first. Do that. So there's one question: is the United States dollar both house now? Yes, of course. United States dollar will be going to 1.15. 1.15, 1.1515, 1.1525. We'll take a deliberate look at it right after the US dollar against the yen. Okay, so the US elections are coming, all right, and we were anticipating to take out higher, all right, and that we were believing that the current correction, like this is a strong motive impulse wave. This is a monthly chart, by the way, all right. So this correction here is some kind of a pennant, an AB, then there's an ABC. So originally we would have contemplated to buy 50% of that motive wave and go all the way to even 125. Okay, so now we have a corona outbreak and we have problems that probably there's not going to be a smooth transition after the US elections. There will be a lot of legal hassle on validity of many of the electoral votes in the states between Trump and Biden. And this will, of course, negatively impact the dollar. Okay, so this will not be a smooth political transmission, assuming, of course, that Biden does win the election in the first place. Okay, so we expect there is strong possibility that there will be dollar weakness. Okay, and what you're seeing here on this chart is that you have this pennant is an identical fractal of that pennant, but a smaller one, of course, to break downwards. All right, if the US elections do not go smoothly and on condition that even supposedly Biden or Trump do win the election, there's going to be, and any one of them will be issuing a lot of stimulus. Okay, there will be a lot of bond purchases to offset impacts of corona and kickstart the economy as quickly as possible. Okay, so the last time this happened was during the credit crash of 2008. That was about here, right around here in this cycle. All right, and the central bank issued massive and systematic quantitative easing, I think over a 2 to 3 year period of something like $80 billion a month or so. And that took the US dollar against the Japanese yen all the way down from okay. So that was in 2008 when there was a credit market crash. All right, and the central bank, the Fed, interfered in the market and issued massive quantitative easing. All right, and bond purchases. Okay. Now you'll note that we have fractals here. This fraction, we have a larger, actually, they are actually signaling that the market is moving in fractals of this triangular pattern or pennant, and that will actually see a large triangular fractal unfolding, and that the market will break lower from this infrastructure, all right, building infrastructure stimulus and the Green Deal worth of $4 trillion. And they're going to have they're going to increase taxes by $4 trillion, which means that they will issue bonds about $4 trillion, cash these, and fund the Green Deal and fund US infrastructure so that they can kickstart the economy, the gross national produce, all right, post-corona. On purchases or bond issuance, okay, on the assumption that these are going to be collected through taxes or through tax revenues. Well, this will of course weaken the dollar considerably, and we can see 75 levels. All right. Okay, so we should see an imitation. We could see an imitation. Even if Trump does win the election, I believe he will also issue stimulus. Okay. Into account that we have, let's hope not, a severe second corona outbreak or second corona. Okay, so we should be prepared to sell a break of that pennant. Okay, probably all the way down to 75. Now the only way that we're going to see a bounce out of that level of 100 or 100, if Biden wins wins a landslide against Trump, and there is very smooth electoral transition. Okay, you have the president in the White House still by January, and of course there is the corona recovery. Okay, that will give impetus for a bullish dollar. Currently, given the fundamentals, we expect weakening of price, and we should be prepared for that. Okay, so let's see how we're going to be prepared for that. This is the current technical picture on the daily chart. Okay. Previously, of course, we had envisioned that we were moving inside and ending that pattern here is a bullish diagonal or bullish ending wedge, all right, that would have broken higher. In this pattern here, we have on the daily an extreme head and shoulder pattern that has already been broken below. All right, and now we have this downtrending channel where we have a fractal of the fast head and shoulder patterns here. We have the head and shoulder here that failed to break above that negative. Right? And this is of course a very bearish sign. Okay, and of course very bearish sign. Okay, and of course if you take a measure of the current head to the neckline, okay, it takes you all the way down to 100 and 101. Right? So the last time we saw 101, we saw that value 101. The outbreak of Corona, past March. And probably if we're going to have a second leg of Corona, and if we're going to have US election volatility, by volatility here it is meant that we're going to have an unsmooth transition of power in the White House, that Trump will refuse to concede defeat. Okay, so we're going to have election volatility. be affected. I don't want to say that they will collapse. All right. So what happened here? Why on the credit crash? Why did that fall all the way down to 75? Because actually because of the equity markets, there was a collapse in equities, and that was due to the unwinding of um, they used to of unwinding of the credit swaps trade. Okay, many traders used or many investment banks used to borrow in yen, all right, and buy equities in the United States in dollars. So when the dollar tanked against the yen, they all the positions almost overnight. Okay, so there was a crash in equities. All right, it was called that was the unwinding of the carry trade. Okay, so that is due to unwinding of carry trade. We could have another collapse in equities if we have a corona crash, or if we have uncertainty, all right, and problems resulting from the smooth transition of the U.S. election. This would certainly affect the equity market, and we could see a second test of the 101 levels. All right about it. So we should be prepared to leave sell stops, okay, below 104. All right, we'll see that in a minute, all the way down to 100. If it turns out on equities, all right, if there is uncertainty pending the U.S. election outcome. Okay, all right, so let's see how we're gonna trade that. Currently, let's look at our chart, of course. Let's break outside of this diagonal, all right, and the correction has completed here. Okay, we believe that this here is the 1-4 line relationship, and this is now a bearish wave, motive wave that we should be selling into. All right, this of course gives us a head and shoulder formation. We sell the right shoulders. So break of the neckline. Currently, this is of course a daily and a swing trade all the way down to 100 in more detail. All right, this is expected to be a motive wave. All right, and that is bottom of one here, and that is two here. All right, so this is a 1-4 line relationship at this arrow, and this correction here did not take us above the bottom of one, meaning that we're still going to be seeing a wave 5 down. Okay, and it is wave 3 here, and that takes us to 104. All right, so intraday wise, we should be setting this right shoulder all the way down to 103. Okay, if we are lucky and things move our way or into the way of that trade, when we get to 104, if that is around election eve, we could contemplate the hold in fulfillment of this, of a breakdown of this neckline, because we would have broken below this neckline. All right, and on election volatility, we could see of course 101. Okay, so trade management wise, these will be the levels to fill. Currently, of course, today the dollar is strong, is bullish, so we would have good opportunity to sell 105.7, 105.6, and 105.5. Our stop, of course, is 106.2, right above the head. Okay, so let's see market action. This is moving, of course, very fast. We're not even, the euro yen, we're not even going to get a chance to enter at 1 on 24.30. Okay, and When you see this kind of market, you need always to move between this and this. So this is now turning into rapidly advancing market. There's massive dollar strength. It seems that there will not be any weakness after all. You would then have to amend your entries, sell entries, for instance, for euro yen to 10, 124.15. The stop is right about here. We would have wanted to put that at 124.70. You could take that down to 124.65. Okay. But you would have to sell into that motive wave and consider selling 78.2 or 78.6%, 61.8%. Probably not going to see the higher levels now. It's motive wave to sell into. You're going to push to 123. There's still time to get in and fill. All right, and the risk reward is good. If you fill 124.15 and 124.10, and your stop is 124.60 or 70, that is about 60 or 70 points risk against the 100 point. Of course, if you're selling against the 100 point reward at 124.10 or 15, you're going for 150. Right? Okay. So that's okay. So currently we're seeing these are the levels you would want to fill. Like we're saying, we would like to fill 105.7, 105.6, and 105.5. We have bearish momentum on the hourly chart. We could even see 105.8 or 75. We'll fill all these and keep our stop easy as it, easy as it goes. And this we'd have to be prepared, of course, to fill these values, because like we're saying, we're going to 104 initially, that neckline, and then after 104 we could be going to 101. Okay, so 101 is that projection, 101 and 1.5 and 101.2. These projections. So it would suffice, or it's important to fill these levels hopefully today. Even on dollar strength. These are the projections here. You are showing 70, 105.60, 105.50. The stop is 106.20. If you're going to day trade this, you're going for 105, just for $100 one-to-one big one-to-one risk reward. If you're going to swing trade it, you're going to 104.2, and this is the 1-to-2 risk. We're filling this, the band high, okay, the weekly band high, and the monthly. We're not filling, we're only just filling. All right. Stop is above the fluctuation high for the country. If we break above, of course, the fluctuation high, then our analysis is not correct, and we would not want to be into that trade. All right, we move on to euro dollar. Let's take the three questions first. So there's a question. We need to know values for gold. Okay, we'll take a look at these now, and values minimum for today. Alright, so gold is a buy at the moment. These are the values that we would like to buy: 1,890, okay, and 1,880 if you see. Okay, we do not believe we will see these low values. Okay, you could of course you could wait for confirmation. By confirmation, we wait for a market bottom. If you are not comfortable entering the trade, we call this blind entry. We're seeing this is the right shoulder or left shoulder, I'm sorry, we're seeing the right shoulder here. Okay, so this is now like C is about to bottom, and values here at 1880. If we get filled there, it's really great, even on a micro or a mini. Okay, our stop is 1860. We could take that down to 1840 to be out of all the current market noise, assuming there is high volatility today, and there is, of course. Alright, but we would want to fill these levels. You could wait until the market bottoms. The chart, like I was saying, if you're not comfortable, okay, like now the market appears to be about consider bottoming. Okay, and when you see this turn bullish, higher momentum than that here, alright, this momentum reverses to positive momentum, then you would look for an Elliott, even a small Elliott structure. This is a 5-wave swing higher to that. Okay, if you wish, you could start testing the levels. These levels are very good to enter at. This for gold, to check them again. This is these levels shown here: 1900, 1890, 1800. These are our projected entries. We're going for 1965. This is this level here. Okay, expect to break above the next line, and then we will correct downwards. And our stop is 1860. Okay, you could take that if you wish. I would 1840, at least initially now at this moment when you are adding, because there is volatility in the market, and 1840 you could very well affect, okay, the market movement or the movement that you plan to see into the market. Alright, so you wouldn't want to be that close to the price action. You would need to be below that. Okay, so we would fill 1900, 1890, 1895, stop at 1860, or better 1840. Our top is 1965. Okay, so these are the values for gold that you would want to get in. The minimum values for gold today, I believe, are going to be 1000, just a minute. This value here, 1877, this is the breakout low for the country. This is a very important, okay, and I believe it will be respected. I believe you will see the minimum value 1880, 1883, that kind of value. You should just buy there, compile, if you're very confident that it's a good position, and you're going all the way to 1965. Okay, so this is probably the lowest value you're going to see for gold today, here at 1877. Okay, 0.80. So again, the lowest value you could expect to see for gold this week. This is the breakout low pivot, or breakout low, should be 1877. This is the lowest projection according to moving averages that you should see for gold within this week. Okay, so you could place your longs right above these at 1855. Alright, so move on to euro dollar now. The market, of course, is doing 1000, it's about bottoming 1890, and it's, of course, you enter at your own discretion. Everyone has to do it on discretion, and you have to be comfortable. But now now is the opportunity to enter this market long. Okay, this is the planned trade in the first place. Remember, wave 1 is here. Okay, shouldn't be falling below 1,850 forward. Okay, all right, so let's go to the euro. Okay, so of course we're bearish there, and still are bearish there. And this is now what you would need to fill. Okay, so that is your growth wave. And if you've been following with us, we did expect termination at this neckline here about 1,850, okay, and 1,840. Our stop primary first target is 1,750 for day traders. Okay, we were expecting a fractal multiple double head and shoulder formation, very small, okay, meaning of this multiple head and shoulder formation here. Okay, this means that you should not chase the market even if you strike now on 1.1750. You're still going to bounce higher, alright. But you will have chance to fill in. We're now doing 1.1750. Okay, right here. We'll do lower and then we'll move higher and you can still sell into that shoulder. Okay, so there's no need to chase the market, alright. If you're going this intraday, then you must wait for the bounce. Alright, if you're going to be trading that intraday, be trading the euro dollar. Again, 1810. We'll look at the values here. Alright, if you're doing this, you're going to sell this swing. You're going all the way down to 1.15. Then you would consider to enter lower levels and hold on to your position. Meaning that you would accommodate this kind of swing in price. Okay, it will not make you uncomfortable. It will not close you to close your position. Okay, so for instance, if you add here, or if you short here at 1.1760, you can see all this volatility go against you. Okay, if you're trading this swing trade. Alright, currently of course the growth move, the growth wave gives you impetus to add to short all the way up to 1775. Okay, you would not better than that, 1775, but it is possible for a higher degree correction to take you to test wave 1 here at 1.8. Okay. So if you want to be into that market now, if you want to fill into that market, you would have to sell. If you want to sell into that market, you would have to sell 1.1775, 1.1770, 1.1765. Okay, our first target of 1.1750. We're not going to see that now. These are the two levels for October: 1.1775, 1.1770. You could also sell 1.1780, 1.1790. Okay. Our first target, of course, is going to be 1.17. This is for day traders here, 16.99. Alright, and the current weekly breakout low is 1.67. So this is the target for day trading. Alright, for swing traders, we're going to 10, 114.50. Alright, we'll see why in a minute. Okay, this is the 115.50. Possibly also to see 114.50. Okay, so you would want to fill. Now is an opportunity to short. Okay, you would consider that this is a growth wave. You should not move beyond this point, which is 117.80. theoretically could sell 17, 1.17, 75, 1.1770, 1.1760. Okay, 1.1770, 1.1770 is here, 1.1775 and 1.1760 and 65. Your stop, of course, preferably is 1.1830 or 1.1820, right above the complete head and shoulders, right above the ratio of the heads. Okay, and you are going initially for 1.1670 if you're day trading this, and 1.70, about 70, 80 points a target. If you're going to swing, you would hold all the way down to 1.15, all right, and 1.1450. These are these levels shown here, 1450, okay, and 1.1510. We all remember, of course, that at these levels we're going to accumulate, we're going to go long this issue on this projection. Okay, we expect that because we have strong positive momentum here, this neckline, all right, must be there because it is stopping this positive momentum from moving higher. Okay, so this is the inflation axis that marks a cycle top, and that our neckline has become translated in a bearish manner here, and it is preventing momentum from driving price higher. So we will fall back to the next below that, all right, which was this, or that if we're going to respect the cycle translation. Of course, we're going to respect the cycle translation because it turns out that this neckline here contains all the market highs previously made here, 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 and here, and therefore we expect the current correction to take us down to 1.1450 or 1.1550. Okay, 1350 is that level shown here, the breakout for October, and we would want to accumulate a strong that would be the end of the week at this point here between 1.1430 and all the way down to 130. We are more biased to see a bounce about 50% of this consolidatory cycle. Okay, this about takes us to 1.1380 or something. We'll still filter that and nail it when we get to it. We would consider to long at 114.50 all the way down to or stops below 113.50. Okay, and these are the answers shown here in this matrix, 113.60. Our stops are 113.30. Even for 30 minutes or 3 minutes, we're just doing 4% risk, and you're going to target 121, which is close to that would be a week B, of course. All right. That resistance level, and slightly higher, I believe, than this. So as to give you, to confuse traders whether this is a 5 or a 3, and people begin buying into it, and then the market pulls back on them again into 8C. Okay, so that's how it works. All right, so that would be our long trade. Okay, we move on to the next. This is the United States dollar against the Swiss franc. We treated that yesterday, and we believe that we failed again at the cycle support level, and the market is actually going to do 0.89 and 0.88. Right? We can revise that. Heavy stuff, and the current bull trend that we were expecting to break above the cycle support here. This is the ground cycle that you're looking at here. Remember that we have an inverted head and shoulders below that, the bottom of that cycle, and we expect it to break higher, all right, and move all the way to 50% of that ground cycle. Well, this failed at high, that is that cycle that you see here. is right about here. Okay, and the market was fell below the cycle, attempted to rise above the cycle low, but failed below the low of one. Okay, this is the wave one. So this means that we're gonna see a fifth wave down. This is one shown here with 5, alright. And currently we are doing this head and shoulder formation. This is the head and left shoulders. We're gonna see right shoulders and we're gonna break that neckline. There's of course strong negative momentum on the daily. There's rejection here and that is a 1-4 line rejection at bottom of wave 1, meaning you're still going to be a fifth wave down. Alright, and it happens to be not only a wave 1 but also the cycle support, which is wave 3. Okay, down at least 38.2% or 27.2% of that wave. 55. Alright, maybe the US elections will help this, and these are the targets that we are seeing. Now, the important thing to concern ourselves with now is entries, intraday rise. Okay, so this is the head and shoulder formation that we're seeing here. This is on the 4-hour chart, and this is way. We're gonna sell this way. Alright, let's take a look at market. Okay, so we were hoping to sell, or we would like to sell 9150. Okay. It's just below the bottom of 1. That is the string, and we're selling that. So we're selling right below the bottom of 9160, 9170. This is what we're currently seeing on the market. We're seeing 9159. Right, we still anticipate higher.
ਯਕੀਨ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੱਚ ਦੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਵਾਂ ਮਨ ਸਾਜੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਮਾੜੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾੜਾ ਕਿਹਾ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਖਿਆ
So this is where our 9160 or 9160 and 9158. We could of course expect now to start shortly. We have about 91. 9160 like short. The dollar is of course strong today, but I would consider entering short now current levels. We will stop right above the top of 91, maximum 92. Alright, and into short 91.4 to 91.3. Very close to 91.50 and 91.55. These are these levels.
ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ੌਰ ਸਿੱਧੀ ਗਏ ਕਿ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਔਰ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ
Comes now 92. And going to 98.50. Alright, initially we went to 98.50. That is that holding that's that level here. 98.67. Around 98. That is 98. Alright, so we move on to the next issue. Could recap that. We're selling the market. Consider to sell now 91.40. Okay, you have potential to sell all the way up to 91.50. And the stop is 92. Alright, this is an hourly chart. You can see that we're going to get a zero line rejection. Okay, this is the right one itself here shown, and we would have our stop at 90.
ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਾਇ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ
7 and possible to see 98, 49. Alright, our next issue is oil. Okay, so we've done changed bias yesterday. We're now bullish, and we did wave segregation of these ratios, and this is the current market action or count that we're seeing. So this is completion of the uptrend, wave 5, and now we're seeing an A, B, C correction that is angular indicator or indicates there is a triangle in the making. So we probably, this could be A or this could be A. Now if that is A, then we're seeing an A, B, and C should be A. That would be a three-legged wave B. Okay, and then we're gonna see a wave C. So we're bullish. Currently, post oil should be going down like gold. Didn't go down. So what we were hoping for or we expect is that to fill, to buy that over here. Now this wave B is going to be a B, B, C, and we're going to have now a traction B here inside of that wave or traction 2. So we would fill these pivots, okay, and this gives us an entry of 38.30 ultimately at the baseline of the ascending triangle. Okay, you could fill higher, all right, that the market can give us. Okay, and this is 38.30 or just about 38. All right, the stop of course is going to be 34.30, right below the quote. against, you could contemplate to sell these levels now at 40.20. Okay, with stops above one here at 41, and you're going all the way down to 37.60 or 38. So you're doing about $2 to good sell, and I wouldn't take it on. I wouldn't have taken it unless it was clear and it has unfolded in a very strong pattern. You have now a head on double shoulder, and we're going to break lower. This is head, two shoulders. We're going to break lower and then I see 38. All right, so that's it. Don't take it too far. Just take it to 38. So you could sell the market or a little higher, even sell half now, sell a little higher at 40.20, and even higher all the way up to 40.30. Okay, and 40.40. You have $40.20 and $40.30. Okay. You're going for a break of the neckline to 30. Okay, and 38.30. So it increases to about $2.50. Alright, and you stop approach just about one. No problem. You should take it higher, okay, but I wouldn't go higher. Then we take the all about the trust. You're going to close to 33, 30, so where you would take between 38 to 80, sorry, 38.30, $38.30, and 37.60. That's about it, 37.60. Okay. So ultimately, after wave B completes at 44, this would be sometime probably next week. All right, we would then sell. Okay, this high. All right, in wave B all the way down to C, because then we'll be seeing a C. Now there is potential. There is, of course, I would rather. I believe we're gonna see B equated with wave 5 here, so we would sell 42. However, there's potential that we could reject at this point here at 1, so we should be prepared and have to keep that into consideration that the current correction, this ABC, is going to move in an ABC, going to prolong, okay, and that there being a second corona could impact price, and we're not going to see new highs. Okay, so we could contemplate shorting, but we will get to that by the end of the week or maybe next week to think whether we're going to short 4150 or at 44. Of course, your stop will be 44. Okay, and your target in wave C is about 35. Of course, this is the future. We'll come to that. Right? In its due time. That brings us to the end of our analysis. We would now take questions. There's a question whether gold is going up or down. Gold, of course, is going up. Okay, so let's do this in greater detail. This weekly chart shows us we have a signal here on weekly momentum. This very strong weekly momentum. Don't expect gold to go down except in retractions that are related to the main impulse wave or the main uptrending wave. This is the main uptrending wave. This is wave 3 here. Okay, and we believe we've done something like the bull flag in that wave, but that doesn't matter. What matters is don't expect retracting in this kind of momentum to go more than 50%. Even 1.8. So that bounced at 50%. we're now going to break out of this bull flag pattern and we're on our way up. So anyway, it doesn't really matter how far we're going up. What matters is that we eliminate or not take bearish trades because of this signal. Okay, you can't go down far. You don't sell it. Okay, so gold is going up. If you're not sure where to enter, sell. Because that signal will suddenly the trend will just reverse and go back up. Okay, so this is now the daily, right? And we have a double zero line rejection. What this signal means is that negative momentum has run out completely to just above zero level and the market is now bouncing higher, and this negative momentum could not take price lower, okay, than the supports upon which price is supported, the cyclic supports upon which price is supported. Like you're looking at this cycle now, so if this was going to become a bearish cycle, you should have broken below that. Alright, so this confirms that you're not going to break below that support if you are trading, you know, but of course on smaller time frames. So this is the chart that we're looking at intraday.
नहीं है बैटरी तो हो गई वो स्पीकर ला दुआ ला नवा लाया वो कर दो इधर एक्चुअली ले गया तो इनकी डिग्री
is below them. We will filter, of course, because we have smaller money size, and then this is what we're seeing on the market. We're seeing the double inverted head and shoulders. Currently, the market is doing the right shoulder. We will try to buy that. We should be buying that right shoulder, and it coincides with an ascending triangle pattern. This is a bullish ascending triangle here. So we don't expect. We have seen already. We have on the market now a complete 5-wing below this ascending triangle bottom. So we would consider to enter that. Okay, so we're looking to buy 1,900, 1,890, 1,895. We're below that now, 1,885. We're buying all the way down to this point. Right around 1,851. Okay. So if you're not comfortable with, and we're doing this, now this is the C. And the correction. Right, this is what we expect. We can only speculate, right? So, should be, if you're not comfortable, like I'm saying, with buying at such lows, then you have to observe the market very keenly. Now is the time for observation for this momentum to correct higher. Okay, when it does correct higher, it becomes positive. You will see here a bullish Elliott structure going high, and you can buy 50% into that swing. So then on your way to 1,960. So someone was asking what is the lowest level you would expect to see this correction go to. We have our pivot table here. This is the weekly pivot table, and the 1,877.50 cents. Okay, so we could see this correction go down to 1,881, 1,883. Alright, we have here 1,380, okay, at 38.2%. We have projections on the correction at 1,881, both sides together. So we could see 1,383, so on. We would buy that. We would consider at least to test these entries by taking the micro entry lots, micro entry longs, all right? And I believe on your way that you will then be on your way to 1,965. You are going to have a stop at 1,000. If it gets spiked out, the market will not close at that level, so position will be liquidated. So it's better to take it down to 1,800 as the current market is volatile and can see such spikes. Alright, so for gold we are considering to buy current levels around 1,890 and 1,000 buy down to 1,893. Our stop will be 1,840. Our target is
ਕਰੰਟ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ ਹੋਗਾ
ਫਿਰ ਮਾਮੂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣੀ ਸੀ
for swing traders, if you want to hold that, you can have
ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਨਾ ਦੋ ਯਾਰ
1,900.
ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ
ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਉਣ ਕਰੋ
And if you also want to invest in it until the US elections, you could probably see about 1,000.
ਤੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣੀ 10 ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣੀ
1,074, like we
Well,
see
maybe.
here that is a
ਅਗਾ ਭਾਈ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ
ਚੱਲ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਰਾਹ ਫੜ ਅਗਾ ਰਾਹ ਫੜ ਕੇ
what will usually take you, of a bullish wave that corrects 80% of the wave. Alright? That is the stop. And you have a nice divergence here to know that there is a bullish wave right at the top of the line. So
ਬਦਲਾ ਲਾਇਆ ਫਿਰ
ਹਾਂ
ਹਸਪਤਾਲ ਕਿਉਂ ਘਰ ਕਾਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਸੀ
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ
and we have something similar.
ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਿਆ ਨਾ ਆਪੂ ਦੇਣਾ ਨਾ
Higher momentum, lower price.
ਤੁਸੀਂ
We
ਆਪਣੇ
have found that
ਨਾ
higher price, low momentum. We should be
ਅੱਛਾ
testing
ਮਾਮੇ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਦੇ ਛੜੀ ਆ
1,070. Okay?
Oh.
So if you would
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਆ ਚਲੋ
ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਕੱਟ ਮਾਰੂਗਾ ਪਿਆ
could be the least of the count, the
ਉਹ
lowest
ਦਿਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ
level.
ਲੱਗੇ ਜਾਵੇ
ਲੱਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਕਰਦੀ
ਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਪਾਣੀ
And then you would go
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਕਰਦੀ
ਇਹ ਫਟ ਮਾਰੀ ਸਿੰਗਾ ਮਾਰ ਇਹ ਮੱਚਾ ਲੱਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our analysis. We could take questions now on the conditions.
ਕਾ ਬਾਜ਼ੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ
ਚੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਚੱਲ ਕਰ ਲੈ
ਕਿਲੋ ਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਂ
ਅੱਜ ਕਰ ਲੈ
So if you have any questions or wish to have any additional questions, please move it down to the moderator and we will make the time for that. The important thing is to be focused and have a plan of action. Do not have to trade all the issues,
ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹਾ
test all of the issues on a demo or micro, and then you pick the entries that are most feasible for you and invest. Alright, so if there will be no more questions, I think that brings us to the end of our analysis. I wish you all a very profitable day. Okay, don't forget about gold.
ਅਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੰਬਰ
The market is at entry. So I wish you all a very, very profitable day. It's been great having you all and we look forward to having you together with us.
ਚਾਰਜ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੈ
Bye.
ਅਸੀਂ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਤਾਲ
ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਨੰਦੇ ਹਲੋ
ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
ਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਿੱਕਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਤਰੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅਗਰ ਅਗਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਕਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਉਹ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੀਏ
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ
ਵਾਲਾ ਦੇ ਤੇ ਲੱਗੇ
ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੂੰ
ਅੱਜ ਬੈਲ ਲੱਗੀ ਨੇ ਨਾਮ ਚੁੱਪਣ ਗਈ ਬਾਹਰ ਵੀ ਪੜੀ ਗਈ ਉਹ ਗਾਣੇ ਦਾ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਵਿੱਚ
ਆਹੋ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਉਹੀ ਨਾ
ਇਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਗੂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਨ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਚੰਗਾ ਵਾ ਕੰਪੈੜਾ ਛੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਡਮ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਾਇਆ ਉਹ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਗਾਇਆ ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਅੱਛਾ ਗਾਇਆ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਦਲੀਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ
ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਚੰਗਾ ਇਧਰ ਬੈਸਟ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾ ਆਹੋ ਸਰ ਕੋਣੀ
ਅੱਲਾ ਸਾਲ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਗੱਲ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ